So I'm Dan Harker. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. My family joined Keller Williams back in 1998. My mom started our company back in 1968 when I was just 4 years old. So when I came into this business, I was one of the agents on the team, and primarily I was a buyer's agent. And she would give me leads, I would go create leads, and we'd convert them, work with them, nurture them into being customers. Once they trusted us, felt comfortable moving forward with us. And so between buyers helping her, then I started developing my business around listings as well and started working on that. I thought that I was supposed to do everything. Someone talked about doing an internship, and I'd heard about internships. I did internships when I was in college, but doing it on a real estate level, we'd get students would call us from colleges say, hey, I need to get an internship. I need to get some hours. Is it possible that you might have time, or that I could come in and be on the team for the summertime? So they might come in. I always talk about coming in for 90 days and they'd end up staying for about 45 days to 60 days. I'm not quite sure why. But they'd come in, and then we set this internship up, and where they would just come in and shadow. They'd go run errands for us. They'd go pick up flyers. They'd pick up signs, pick up lock boxes. We're a real small mom and pop type business at that time. And I remember this one young punk kid came in, and my sister, he was actually friends with my niece, so my sister's daughter, and he wanted to do work for the summer, and he was up at Oklahoma State University and spent the summer with us. And it was a summer when it was more of a buyer's market and neutral to buyer's market, where we had a lot of listings, so we're always having to take flyers out, pick up signs, drop off signs, pick up drop off lock boxes. And so driving all over the place. So we wore his car out. At the end of the summer, he came in and he goes, hey, I think I like to just start working full time with you guys. Wait a second, this was an internship. And I said, what year are you again? He says, I'm a junior. I'm like, oh heck no. Your mom and dad kill me if I say, hey, full-time job. No, you got to go finish your year up at Oklahoma State University. So Dylan went back up there, and he made the comment, hey, would you interview me when I come back? And I said, sure, I'll interview you. And I think my sister was like, hey, no promises. We'll see what's happening at that time. Who knows what's going to happen in that year? And sure enough, come springtime, I got a phone call, and I think he called me and called my sister. And my sister was like, you're going to have to talk to my brother. I'm like, what does that mean? And so I said, all right, let's give it a shot. And let's see, what year was that?
It would have been spring of 2014.
So we're at 8-year anniversary now?
Yeah, a little past. Yeah.
A little past 8 years. And it's interesting, you rarely see anybody who comes out of college that doesn't go to 2 to 3 or 4 jobs within the first 4 or 5 years, as they're trying to just find their niche. And Dylan, you give him a client to buyers. I had all this. I decided to start using an internship to start just to help them get an understanding what business looked like. But when Dylan got his license, came in as an agent, I had overflow. In other words, I had more buyers and sellers, and I just ran out of time to be able to do such an adequate job that the people would be happy. And so I started having Dylan go with me on buyer appointments so he could get used to that. Then he'd usually pick up the baton, and he'd run it all the way to the end, showing them homes, and started helping negotiate contracts and negotiate offers. And here it is, 8.5 years later. He does a lot of. We got a fairly large team now. We're at 21 between administrative and agents on the Dallas team. And Dylan does a lot of coaching, a lot of teaching to the other agents. He's been in a lot of transactions, so he's seen a lot of the different scenarios that could ever come up. What do you do at this point? What do you do then? And so he's really He's really picked up, and I do remember when he first came in, I appreciated how hard he worked, because he'd have this. I had these different tools that I was using in the business, and I looked up and I'm like, he's got the tools I'm using. I mean, he's paying attention, he's watching, and I mean, had the same book that I had. He had this little braided keychain kind of thing. So I thought, all right, this is getting a little creepy. He's starting to become me, and we wanted him to stay Dylan, but...
Dan and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago, was, so when I internship, like I said, I was right next to his desk every day, heard every conversation on the phone, and a lot of times, our office setup right now, I'll be back to back with Dan in our office, and he and I both, if we're both on the phone, it gets loud because we're both loud talkers on the phone. But a couple of weeks ago, he said it's like there's an echo in here, because he hears the conversations, the scripts that I'm using on the phone with sellers, and he's like, this sounds just like me. And I was like, well, yeah, I was at your hip, for several years, just listening to every conversation you had, and just use that same phrase that Dan used, and just, input it into my vocabulary when I'm talking to clients on the phone. And so I think, anybody can go out and get their real estate license and learn that material. But when you get your license, you still have no idea how to actually go through and complete a transaction with a client. Mm-hmm. And so that was my biggest thing, is coming in and just being attached to it. I mean, that internship, I think we probably had lunch at least 3 times a week, because I was always in your car with you going to an appointment or whatnot. And that's the biggest thing. I think that we have new agents that have come in on our team that have gone on appointments with me, and some of the other more tenured agents on the team, to just shadow, just not going in on an appointment to say anything. They're just there listening to what is the conversation like with the client. And everything like that, and I think that's the best way to learn this business, is you just get out there and do it.
I've watched him take this on and just embrace it. I mean, you just see it in the number of families he's helped over the years, and even just this year. I mean, he's how many listing appointments do you think you've been on this year?
60 to 70. 60
to 70 listing appointments just this year. The person that I'm looking for, whenever I'm looking for someone to join the team, whether it's new or seasoned, or maybe they've come from a season they think it might be starting to shift down, the people that are investing in themselves to learn how to better their skill set, if they would just work on them, everything else will fall into place. It's kind of like saying, when's the right time to have a baby? There's never the wrong time or the right time. Have your baby. Go have a baby. Go do life. It's the same thing in real estate. Right now, the 30-year average for the interest rate is 6%. Where we're at right now? We're under 6%. And so the challenge is there's kind of this thought that, oh my gosh, the run for the hills, because there's all the good deals are gone, and sellers, we can't sell our house for what we did before. And so we've been in such an out of kilter balanced market, heavier in favor of the sellers than it is the buyers. It's kind of like being in a car going down the road. 3 of the tires are, the right air pressure is right, and then there's that one tire on the left, it's low, and it's kind of vroom, vroom, vroom. It's great for the seller, hasn't been great for the buyer. The thing is, there's a deal out there right now. If you want a deal, there's a deal out there. You just got to go look for it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Regardless of the market, if you're priced right, forget about the location. Everybody says location. It is important, but you know what? Once you're in the house, it is the location. You can't do anything about it. So now let's make sure your house is in good condition and price it competitively. If you price it competitively, it doesn't matter if it's a seller's market, buyer's market, neutral market, it will sell like that. In a lot of cases, get multiple offers. If you price it at or just below market, we get more offers.
Do I have to give the sellers a cruise to Bahamas to get the home?
You don't have to name your first child after them. You know, you know what's exciting about being a buyer right now? We're getting more options. And in some cases, you're able to negotiate again. There's some things that the buyer was willing to pay for title policy or was willing to not get the home warranty. And those are things that used to be in them. We're starting to see those come back in. You know, back from January through May, we were seeing, since May, we've seen the inventory that was on at that point double, and then in the last week and a half, triple what it used to be on a weekly basis. So in other words, we're getting more inventory in the market. This works in the favor of the buyer. They now have options. They are no longer having to settle as much. It's not a buyer's market. It's not. We have people out there that say it's buyer. It's not a buyer's market. You know, we're in still a hyper seller's market. I mean, the market we're in, it's still under 2 months worth of inventory in the market. So it's in that market, but there's still more options for buyers.
You know, being able to serve alongside Dan, just the families that we've gotten the opportunity to serve, has just been wonderful. I've made some lifelong friends, some lifelong clients, just people from all walks of life that I've gotten to, you know, help assist in their home search, but also just be a part of their life. And it's just been a great opportunity, and we're set up to continue serving more clients for years to come.
So guys, thank you very much. Dylan, I want to appreciate you. You've been
Thank
a
you.
great, valuable member of this team.
Thank you.
I'm Dan Harker. You can reach Dylan or myself as part of the EmpowerHome team. Any one of our team can help out. You can reach us below. Happy to do that. And the market is the right time to get it. Jump in. We're ready to help you.